Jim travels from Dublin to work in London every week. A. Part 1. In Dublin, Jim exchanges £3,500 sterling for euro. The exchange rate for the transaction is €1 equals 87p in sterling, or 0.87 pounds in sterling. Find, correct to the nearest euro, the amount that he can expect to receive. So this is a 5-mark question. So we start off with €1 equals 0.87 pounds. We're trying to figure out what £1 is equal to. So we say, well, how do we get from 0.87 to 1? Well, anything divided by itself is 1. So we divide by 0.87. And what we do to the right, we do to the left. So 1 divided by 0.87 is going to be 100 over 87. You can just leave it as a fraction for the moment. And then we want to figure out what £3,500 is. So how do we get from 1 to 3,500? We multiply by 3,500. And what we do to the right, we do to the left. So 100 over 87 multiplied by 3,500 gives us 4,022.988, but we want to round it off to the nearest euro. So the 2, the unit there, the 2 becomes the rounding digit, the 9 becomes the telling digit. The 9 tells the 2 what to do, and it tells it to round up, because 5 or more let it soar, 4 or less let it rest. So we get approximately equal to €4,023, correct to the nearest euro. Part 2. Jim is charged 1.25% commission on the transaction. Find, correct to the nearest cent, the amount that he receives. So this is a 5-mark question. 1.25% of €4,023. So we got that from part 1, part I. So of means multiply. So we do 1.25% multiplied by 4,023. Gives us 50.2875. So we're going to round off. So this 8 here becomes the rounding digit because we want to the nearest cent. So the 8 is the rounding digit, the 7 is the telling digit, the 7 tells the 8 what to do, and the 7 tells the 8 to round up. So we get approximately equal to 50.29. So 4,023 minus 50.29 leaves us with €3,972.71. This is the amount that he receives. Part B. In London, Jim exchanges £1,500 sterling for euro. He receives €1,630 after 1.5% commission is charged on the transaction. Find the exchange rate for the transaction before commission is charged. Give your answer in the form of £1 equals something euro. So 100% minus 1.5% is 98.5%. Just note that this is a 10-mark question, part B. So €1,630 is equal to 98.5%. So we want to figure out what 1% is. So how does anything become 1? Divide by itself. So divide by 98.5 on the right and divide by 98.5 on the left, because what we do to the right, we do to the left. And 1,630 divided by 98.5 is 3,260 all over 197. So you can leave it as a fraction for the moment. So that's 1%. We want to work out 100%. So 1 times 100 gives us 100. So 1% times 100 gives us 100%. And what we do to the right, we do to the left. So 3,260 all over 197 multiplied by 100 gives us 1,654.822. So that's 100%. So 1,654.82 is equal to £1,500. So the £1,500 came from the question. So we want to know, well, what's £1 equal to in euro? So 1,500 divided by 1,500 gives us 1. And what we do to the right, we do to the left. So we're going to divide by 1,500 on the left. And 1,654.82 divided by 1,500 is 1.1032. And we want 2 decimal places because it told us that in the question. So we get £1 is equal to 1.10, so €1.10. So the 0 was the rounding digit, the 3 was the telling digit, and the 3 tells the 0 to rest, to stay the same. So £1 is equal to €1.10. Part C. Jim wishes to exchange 2,000 sterling for Australian dollars. On a given day, the exchange rate for the euro to sterling is €1 is equal to £0.89, and for euro to Australian dollars is €1 equals $1.68 Australian dollars. Find the sterling to dollar exchange rate and write your answer in the form of £1 equals something Australian dollars, and it's going to be 2 decimal places. Hence, which means finding what you just worked out, find the amount that Jim can expect to receive in Australian dollars if no commission is charged on the transaction. So you're going to use your answer from here to work out the very last part. So this is a 10-mark question. So we start off with €1 equals £0.89 and €1 equals $1.68. So both of those just came from the question. So if €1 is equal to £0.89 and €1 is equal to $1.68, then £0.89 must be equal to $1.68 as well. So if they both equal to €1, they must be both equal to each other. So we're going to use this to continue. So £0.89 is equal to $1.68. We want to find out what £1 is equal to. So we want our answer to be £1 equals so many Australian dollars to 2 decimal places. So we think, well, how do we get from 0.89 to 1? Well, anything divided by itself is 1, so we divide by 0.89 on the left, and what we do to the left, we do to the right. So we divide by 0.89 on the right as well. So 1.68 divided by 0.89 gives us 1.887. So £1 is equal to $1.887. So we're going to round it off because we want 2 decimal places. So the 8 is the rounding digit, the 7 is the telling digit, the 7 tells the 8 what to do, the 7 tells the 8 to round up to 9. So £1 is equal to $1.89. So we have that now in that format. So hence, using this, find the amount that Jim can expect to receive in Australian dollars if no commission is charged on the transaction. So he wanted to change £2,000. So we want to figure out what £2,000 is in dollars. So how do we get from 1 to 2,000? We multiply by 2,000, and what we do to the left, we do to the right. So we do 1.89 multiplied by 2,000, and we get $3,780. Therefore, the amount Jim can expect to receive in Australian dollars if no commission is charged is $3,780.